everyone, I'm Lorna Sass, and here's my friend the pressure cooker. I've been pressure cooking for 20 years. In fact, the 20th anniversary of Cooking Under Pressure has just been published. And I want to show you how quick and easy it is to pressure cook. I'm going to make an Indian curried split pea soup. I'm going to cook it under pressure in 10 minutes, and then I'm going to just let the pressure come down naturally for about 5-10 minutes, and the soup is going to be pureed and done with lots of flavor. So here we go. I'm going to start off over high heat. I'm going to put just a little bit of oil in the cooker. I'm going to start out with a quick saute of a chopped onion. You can chop the onion very, very coarsely, and if you don't happen to have a fresh onion in the house, you can just use toasted minced onion, maybe a tablespoon. What I'm trying to do is show you how to make a soup with pantry ingredients, because actually today what I found was it's really cold out and I wanted to have soup for lunch and I didn't feel like going out to shop. So basically I'm going to use all pantry ingredients. So I'm going to give these onions a very quick saute. If you don't have time for that, you can just throw the onions in, really. The first thing I do always when I'm about to pressure cook a soup is I bring a lot of water to a boil. Because if you add boiling water to the pressure cooker, it's going to come up, the contents of the pressure cooker is going to come up to high pressure much, much faster. So what I'm going to do, because as I say we're using pantry ingredients, is I'm going to add about 4 cups of boiling water. I'm going to add a can of diced and fire roasted tomatoes. This particular one I had in the house has green chilies in it, which will work nicely with the flavors we're using. For richness, I'm going to use a can of coconut milk. You could also just use chicken broth. I find that for 1 pound of split peas, you need 8 cups of liquid. So it could be all chicken broth, or what I've done is I have used 4 cups of water, and I've used 2 cups of coconut milk and approximately 2 cups of the diced tomatoes. So now I've put in my pound, and I'm using yellow split peas because I just don't have green split peas in the house at the moment. And that'll be fine. And I'm going to put in a little bit of curry powder. But what I find is that it's really great to add seasonings after releasing pressure. So I'm just going to add maybe a tablespoon now. And then I'm going to make a topping called a tarka while this mixture is coming up to pressure. Now what we do is we lock the lid in place by aligning the arrows. Each cooker is designed ever so slightly differently, but this one I'm just aligning the arrows and aligning the handles. Now what we're going to do is wait for the cooker to come up to pressure, and we're going to know exactly when that is when we reach the second red line. In the old-fashioned style of jiggle top cookers, once the jiggler is going at a steady rate is when you know it's up to high pressure. It's easier in this type of cooker, what I call a second generation cooker, to know, as I was saying, once it reaches the second line. And that's when we're going to set the timer. Okay, while this is coming up to pressure, I'm going to prepare what's called a tarka, T-A-R-K-A. It's a kind of just a finishing flavoring, which is used in Indian cooking. And I'm going to just heat some butter, because I don't have ghee. It would normally be ghee in Indian cooking. I'm going to just melt some butter, and in order to keep the butter from burning, I'm just going to add a little safflower oil, which will raise the smoke point. Once the butter is melted, I'm going to fry some cumin seed and some fennel seed. And I'm going to also, at the very end, stir in a little more curry powder. Once the soup is done, we'll be stirring that in, or possibly just drizzling that on the top of each individual serving. Okay, the butter's just about melted. I'm going to add maybe, 2 teaspoons of fennel. Maybe 1 teaspoon of cumin. And then at the very end, I'm going to stir in a little curry powder just to heat that up. I could add mustard seeds if I had them in the house. I may actually have them in the freezer, but I forgot to take them out. And now we'll just kind of wait for the pressure to come up, which should take approximately 2 more minutes. So we'll take a break now and come back when the pressure is up.